I love the smell of books. The older and mustier, the better. Have you ever smelled the old glue and paper? It's glorious. Books are a beautiful thing. That's why I collect them. I'm a private collector, and I like to collect unpublished works. There's something so personal and wonderful about reading some obscure author's work that no one else has ever seen. These manuscripts can be really hard to find, especially since most of the time when someone dies or these writings are found, the people left over just seem to throw them out. I get most of my unpublished stuff from estate sales. This also can be troubling because you need to buy someone's personal paperwork and hope that the vibe you got about them being a writer is, well, right. Otherwise, you just have boxes and boxes of useless stuff. Receipts, medical paperwork, random stuff like that. Sometimes you get lucky and end up with journals. Journals are really fun, especially if you normally like to read true stories about people's lives. But of course, average people's lives are really boring. Once in a while, though, you come across something really interesting. I got a hit on a new estate earlier this week. I lucked out, an unpublished author and a treasure trove of journals. This guy, Gus Phillips, I think, had so much paperwork. But the interesting thing I found today was a collection of short stories. I've been reading through them. Most of the stories are nothing to write home about, but a few of them are really good. Like, really good. I don't know if Gus had ever sent anything out to publish. I haven't found any information on that yet, but anyway, the stories. Some of them are really interesting. There's this one that was written in 1999 about the Twin Towers in New York. The story is almost perfect, but the date is off. I think he wrote that the towers would fall on November 9th instead of September 11th. There are more too, ones that describe attacks in Syria, others that talk about hurricanes and tornadoes, all these huge events, but the dates are always off. Sometimes they're transposed, sometimes the year is off or the day. Anyway, the stories are always written a year or two before the actual event happened. So, the one I've been reading today details some kind of nuclear meltdown. It isn't finished, and the last page has some red staining. I'm guessing this is the last story he was writing before he took his own life. That was upsetting, but I think I understand. If things are the way they seem, Gus was predicting horrible things, like Nostradamus or some kind of scary psychic. I'm not sure how he was getting these premonitions or whatever you would call them, but what I am sure of is if he wrote these stories when they are dated, then, well, we don't have a lot of time left. Maybe a year or two, maybe a couple of months. Like I said, the story isn't finished. The dates are always off. It details a nuclear meltdown triggered in China. But something happens and the radiation leaks into other things and it gets into our water table. I don't think anything could survive that, so I guess live your best life. We don't have a lot of time. That is, if Gus was right. We don't really have any way of knowing, so go and smell a book.